showtime!
Siri, what is the definition of perseverance?
Perseverance means persistence in doing something despite difficulty, or delay in achieving success.
Excuse me, that's my Ring doorbell back at home in the USA. It's good to have you, let you know when people are come to your front door, come to your house. But basically, that's what this week's Sunday sermon is about. Perseverance, or to simplify it, persistence. Now, the first time I ever heard the word perseverance, it was from my basketball coach in junior high school. I remember years ago, I used to play a little ball, PS45. It was just kind of like, we honestly we had football jerseys as our basketball uniforms. I remember that. And the only reason why we probably had the football jerseys because we didn't have a football team. When I mean football, I mean soccer. But now, now that the world is more, enlightened to, Americans are more enlightened to the terminology of football globally and not our American football. That's why I said football jerseys. But I remember him saying that. I forgot the coach's name, Mr. Thompson or something like that. And he asked the team, does anybody know what perseverance means? And I don't think anyone knew. So he explained what it was. And I may have forgotten a lot of things from back then, but I never forgot him bringing that word, that vocabulary into my life. And I was impressed by it. I was impressed by the meaning. I was impressed by the sound of it. Sound studious, sound smart. One of those smart words, or just a word that will add to your vocabulary, right? So I never forgot it, and I know most of my life that's what I have been doing. Persevered through everything, adversity, challenges, and opportunities, the windows of opportunities. And being here in Brazil, in my condo, and I'm gonna make a video of the condo when it's all done. But it's beautiful. It's beautiful, and I need to get the other footage so I can put it together from the ugly duckling to the pretty swan. I don't think y'all gonna appreciate what it looks like now, or I think y'all could appreciate more of what it looks like now. Let me try to turn this down. I don't think it turns down. I think y'all will appreciate more what it looks like now if y'all saw what it looked like, how I received it. Okay, so, and the reason why it brings me to that title topic for this week's Sunday sermon is I just don't want people to forget about how important it is to persevere. And I'm going to use buying this property in Brazil as an example. And I've told parts of the story before, and those parts that I explained before, I'm not going to talk in detail. But an opportunity presented itself. But first of all, let me say, I always was a reader of self-help books. Dale Carnegie, Dennis Kimbrough, Nightingale, all these authors. And I think it was one of those, I saw it somewhere, and it says, write down 5 things that you would want to happen. And then it said, it's something like this. This is how I remember it. And then it said, write down, put the thing you want to happen in the next 30 days at the top. And then it was like another step or two, and I did that. And what my 30-day choice was owning a property in Brazil. Although I don't even think I was pursuing that at the time. So I come here, talk to a friend, and that she was looking for a place, and then I just asked her how that was going. She told me it didn't work out, but she said it was a nice find. And I said, "You think I'll be able to see the place?" She was like, "Yeah, let me call the owner." Called the owner, came here to this place, spoke to the owner. She spoke English. She used to work in America. And, I took it seriously, started pursuing it, reached out to some people that have been here, my OGs here. Shout out to John Thompson. John Thompson referred me to one of his friends here, a native, a brother, lived here and born here, lives here, is a Brazilian who also spoke English, also worked in America. And part of the reason why he said he helped me, or he helps brothers that come here, he said because when he came to America, how the black brothers helped him adjust, helped him, acclimate to black culture in America and so on and so forth. So he always kept that in mind, how he was helped. And, basically pays it forward. So he connected me with his attorney. The attorney came, boom, 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 started doing the paperwork, starting to do the title search and all this stuff on the place. So it came to a point when I was going to purchase the property. Long story short, wrote up a contract, signed the contract, made a deposit, and wasn't able to get the money here. Took some time. I was discouraged. When I finally got my money back, or whatever problems I had with the bank, I just took a step back for a while. But the property remained available, and she was a motivated seller, and she always stayed in contact with me. And she was moving back to America for work. And she was like, "I really need to adjust there. I really would need the money, boom, boom." Offered to me under the same contract, same terms, same deposit that I already gave her. She would apply. And shout out to Elizabeth to help me make this happen too. And so comes back around, I get the place. Now, early on, I got my CPF for something that you would need here. And Joshua, my boy Joshua, helped me out with that. I mean, honestly, it's got to be God sent that I was lined up with so many of the right people to make so much of this work. Now, don't get me wrong, it wasn't easy, but it's like the divine energy just lined me up with everybody I needed to make this work. And it did. If I got it, I purchased the property. But some of the hurdles were getting the money here and stuff like that. It was a big hurdle getting a bank account here. Although people told me that they were able to get their bank accounts with a CPF, I was not able to get my bank account with my CPF. Although I had my CPF, I went to every bank here in Rio de Janeiro, and some of them attempted to get me my account with the CPF. Wasn't able to get it. I went to many agencies downtown. I even went to the federal buildings, the UN here, and was trying to get a RNE number or something like that so I can get a bank account, so I can have an ID. And it was just very challenging, very challenging. So where I had to go a long route. And shout out to Dean, he helped me out with some people. I had to go the long route and get a visa. One of the visas that most foreigners could get is either a student visa or nomad visa. I went for the student visa for particular reasons when I talked to the agency to help me get it. Now, even to get the student visa was a lot of work. I had to get a police report, background check, and I had to get my birth certificate. Then I had to find a place in America I thought it would work like that. No, they had to get apostled and then translated to Portuguese. And all this, I tried to get a mail-in fingerprint and police report, and that took forever. And then I found a place to do the electronic, so that was quick. But all these hurdles, then I finally get the, I get approved to get my student visa, which costs pretty decent amount, being that you have to register for school, you have to pay for the school, and all the other fees from the agency that actually did most of the work. Then the company who prints the IDs, they lost their contract with the government here, and it took like 4 months for me to actually get my ID. Whew. All this time I don't have a bank account. So when I went to get my Wi-Fi on in the place, I had to go. Claro wouldn't do it. A couple of companies wouldn't do it. I finally found someone to help me at Tim. I was able to get my Wi-Fi. Trying to get my cell phone, same thing. Went to Claro, went to this one, to that one. Got somebody to help me at Vivo. All these things that I wasn't supposed to be able to get without an ID. But I persevered. I went from one office to the next office. They said no, they said no, they said no. I went. Even once I got my ID, I said, okay, I finally got my ID, my physical ID. And I went to the banks to say, okay, so it shouldn't be no problem me opening up a bank account. Even some of the banks still said your ID is temporary, and they wouldn't open an account for me. Even though I did get a bank or two to do it, but it still wasn't clear across the board that I just go in there and get my bank account. I had issues getting my gas bill paid, my light bill paid, my phone bill paid, my being outside the country, not having an account here, not having a Pix account. So it was a lot of work, I will say. Although I made it look easy, and although so many things lined up for me, I mean, even finding a contractor to do the work was a blessing. The work is pretty much almost done. But even getting the additional things I needed, appliances and stuff, I come around the corner, oh, the truck is there with my ACs. The truck is there with my washer dryer. Like, still waiting to get my Wi-Fi reconnected, but had I not had the stomach, had I not had the experience and perseverance, never forgetting that word, never forgetting what it meant, what it truly means to push through and persevere. I had experience. I got a master's degree in perseverance. I have done this so many times with opening barbershops, building barbershops, getting licenses, getting told no. I've done this over and over in my life. It wasn't easy getting my first house in America. So, I got a master's degree in perseverance. So all of that, you afraid to go somewhere because you don't speak the language or this or that. No. Zoe gets things done. And I just want you guys to remember, they say, I'm a firm believer that when things come easy, a lot of times, you don't value them. You neglect the things that come to you easy. That's why sometimes when people win money with the lottery or big money and they didn't put in blood, sweat, and tears to get anything, they lose it all. They lose it a lot of times because come, easy go, as they say. That is not a phrase for nothing. That's a phrase because people have lived in it and experienced it, and it became some of folklore. Easy come, easy go. So just remember, if you want something in your life, if you really truly want it, and it's worth having, it's probably not going to come to you easy. So just be prepared for the hurdles you're going to have to jump. or get over, or walls that you're going to have to kick down, doors you got to kick down to achieve your goal. And that could just be one goal. That could be a short-term or long-term goal. That's just one goal. So you need this perseverance aura in your life. It's a life habit, I guess, you know. Having perseverance can be habitual, you know. You get used to it. Like, okay, I get turned down all the time and I still make it through. So just keep that in mind in your life. And it doesn't matter how old you are. Just keep that in mind when the hurdles come, you know, the problems come. Don't be discouraged enough to quit. It's okay to get discouraged, because I got discouraged. But and I think life will meet you halfway if you persevere. If you put in the work, life will meet you halfway. You know, for all the things that were difficult, the same amount of things or more would just fell into place for me like a blessing. So yeah, it can't all be easy. Everything can't always be easy for you. Be willing to put in the work. Be willing to be disappointed. Be willing to be exhausted with certain things and situations if you want something. All right? And it's going to be my pleasure to show y'all, you know, what this place turned out to be. But being here in Brazil and let's keep it real. I'm one of a few guys who've been traveling around the world, YouTubers who got an international property, you know. And I'm not trying to brag or boast, but who I am and how I move is part of the reason I was able to make it happen. And perseverance is in my DNA. International. So, love is love, life is life, and loyalty is priceless. Peace.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?